Hey, guys. Hey, are you guys seeing this? That was just like doggy Olympics. She has on a diaper. Do not judge her, okay? She's still a baby. Yeah, this is going to be a very distracting video, but I don't have another place to put these dogs, so they're here with us for the ride. This is going to be an interesting one. Okay. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again in my little cozy book corner of the world. Sorry for the setting change again. I am back in Georgia for the holidays with my family. It's such a rainy, gloomy day outside, so I thought there is no better time to get into this 2023 reading wrap. I'm really excited to go over all the books I actually read this year because, as you guys know, I kind of just started or restarted my reading journey. So there's not going to be 1,000 books on this list, but it is exciting to kind of look back over the last few months, especially the last 2 months that I've really gotten into reading, and then kind of go over some of my goals for 2024, which I'll go into depth a lot more about right at the top of the year, but I'm really excited to get into this video. Oh, I don't mind the dogs. They're all around me. I'm wearing my new sweater that my mom just got me that says, "Easily distracted by dogs and books," which is very true. So there's two little puppies running around right now. This one is Prince. He is our older dog. He is so sweet. He's 9 years old. He's a big man now, and he is constantly running after his new little sister, Matcha, who you may have seen in some of my other videos, who is a tiny little 3-pound Yorkie who loves to terrorize Prince all day. But I got the idea to do this video because Destiny Sidwell posted a 2023 end of year book tag, and I love her. She's one of my favorite, like, coziest booktubers, book talkers, bookstagrammers that I follow. And I think this is such a great idea, especially because I don't have my entire library with me. So it would be great to just do a video just kind of going over everything from memory. I'll be linking all of the books that I talk about below. I'm going to put all the questions below, just like Destiny did. If any of you want to do your own book tag videos, then I'm just going to be putting the covers on the screen somewhere like right here, let's say. Okay, so let's get right into it. First question, what was the most disappointing read of the year? Okay, starting off with a bang immediately. So the first one should not be a surprise if you've watched any of my silent review videos. A Very Nice Girl by Imogen Crimp. I'm pretty sure that is the author's name. Just so disappointing for a lot of different reasons. A, because the cover was so beautiful, and I know you shouldn't judge a book by a cover. Matcha, little girl, what are you doing? Okay, sorry. I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, and this is literally the reason why. Because, oh my gosh, that book was so god-awful boring. The writing style is like tragic, like just the most bizarre. And I get it. It's a book about like the dangers of caring about what people think. So you're just getting a stream of conscious, like, inner monologue from the main character for the entirety of the book. And I could not stand it. And I think it was so disappointing because the reason I picked it up, aside from the cover just being really cute and looking good on my bookshelf, was because it is compared to Sweet Bitter by Stephanie Danler, and I love Sweet Bitter. It's one of my favorite books. So it was so disappointing to me because I was really expecting like that level of like prose and like emotion, even if it was going to be a similar story where there's not really like that much going on with the plot. But yeah, it was nothing like Sweet Bitter in my opinion. So that was definitely my most disappointing read of the year. Okay, so now on a lighter note, what was an underdog book of the year for you? This one is easy and surprising because I just read it. I read it like 2 weeks ago, and it's For the Fans by Nyla K. I cannot believe this book. I started off reading it on like Kindle Unlimited and liked it so much that I ordered it for a paperback because I just wanted to have it. The spice in that book is so good. Like, I truly think Nyla has like a gift or something. So yeah, really good read. Okay, next up we have, what was the most overhyped book? A book that was overhyped. For the first one, do not kill me for this. Do not kill me for this because there's a redemption arc here. But I've got to start off with A Court of Thorns and Roses, book one. Just book one. Because the process of me getting this book, well, first of all, it was like the top of my list when I was going to start my reading journey again. This was the first book that I set out to buy. Buying the book, every step along the way, there was someone fangirling. Like, physically in Barnes & Nobles and also like amongst my friends back at home. So I think I just like as a fantasy lover, I really had like super high expectations for the lore for this book. And it really, in my opinion, took the first book like 250 pages to get there. Now that I've read the other books, I truly understand the genius that is Sarah J. Maas and what she was doing and the world she was building and the backstory. It's, to me, more like a prequel until they get under the mountain, and I think it's necessary. It was just very disappointing for me at first, though. I won't lie, but I'm so happy that I finished the book because, yeah, the series is incredible. A Court of Mist and Fury is one of my favorite books that I've ever read. And then the second one, second most overhyped book, The Spanish Love Deception. And this one tops ACOTAR like out of the water. Because what is that book? If you love this book, I am so sorry. I truly am not trying to offend you, but oh my gosh. Within the first 10 pages, I knew this was not going to be a good book. Because the exposition that happens right off the bat, she's basically spelling out the entire story, how quickly he offers to come to her aid, and how she consistently talks about how much she hates him while also just talking about Aaron Black for this and Aaron Black for that and everything about his body and like how he looks. It just doesn't make sense. Like, to me, I was like, these people don't hate each other because you haven't told me why. Like, why do they hate each other? And also, why does he need to come with her? Like, it's just too quick. It all happens way too fast. So yeah, it's probably my top most like overhyped book of the year. Sorry, please don't kill me. Take it up with your mother. Or the comment section. Okay, so the next question is, ooh, I like this one. Okay, what are some of your fave book couples of the year? Ooh, okay. Definitely Xaden and Violet from Fourth Wing. My top fave is probably Hudson and Grace from the Crave series. If you haven't read the Crave series, you're only on the first book. I'm really sorry if that spoiled something for you. The next one will be a spoiler too. Reese and Feyre from A Court of Thorns and Roses, absolutely. I feel like I'm definitely missing a lot of people here. Oh, my two boys from For the Fans, love them so much. I could even say Zayd and Addie from Haunting Adeline, like as demented as they are, one of my favorite couples. Oh, and then also, this is of a novella called Salacious Players Club, but book 5 follows two characters, Maggie and Beau, and I love them. I am absolutely obsessed with their relationship. It is so wonderful. I so enjoyed reading about them and their little book. I think it's probably like a 250-page novella. I think those are my top couples for the year. Okay, next one. Fave main characters of the year. Okay, so like solid main characters. Again, I'd have to go with Violet from Fourth Wing. Little Miss Violence herself. Love her. Definitely Addie from Haunting Adeline. Love her. Again, these are just like strong women who are complicated and not perfect, but completely driven by like their own desires and will. I absolutely love. Oh, and then I love from the Captive Prince series by C.S. Pacat, Prince Laurent from Captive Prince. Probably the smartest character in a book I have ever read. Chef's Kiss. Absolutely love that character down. I want to write a character like that so bad, that is so like maniacally evil that even as a reader, you truly feel like you never figured them out. You were never a step ahead of him. He always had the game fully locked down. So yeah, definitely probably my favorite character of the year is Prince Laurent from Captive Prince. Next one. These questions are good. I'm really glad that she created this book tag because I wouldn't have thought to include some of these in a 2023 wrap up. Okay, so what was a book that surprised you? A book that surprised me, I'm just going to keep going off this train, Haunting Adeline, for sure. I read that one recently too, with the weather getting all dark and gloomy. I kept seeing people talk about it on TikTok. The words they were using to describe it were like crazy, sick, demented, twisted. Someone even said they needed a cigarette, need multiple cigarette breaks while reading it, which I think is so funny. I'll put that TikTok here.
Bitch, I don't even smoke and I think I need me a damn cigarette.
And after I saw that, I was like, you know what? I have nothing better to do. I need to feel what this feeling is. Like, what is happening? What sick and depraved mess is happening in this book that people need a cigarette break from it, but are also like obsessed with it and love it, and it has good reviews? Yeah, hands down, I did not expect myself to like that book. There are multiple times when I was reading it that I was like, you can close this. Like, you don't have to continue putting yourself through this, especially book 2. Book 2 is hard. She includes every single trigger warning you would need before you open that book. And I almost weirdly feel like better person for having read that book, which I know sounds so bizarre, but it also made me just feel full of like empathy. Yeah, that book just made me think a lot. I think I read the entire series in like 4 days, and those are pretty big books, and it's like very heavy material. But I had a great time. I had a really great time reading them overall. So definitely a surprising read for me that I would not have guessed in like 100 years. Ooh, this is a good one. Who's a new favorite author you discovered in 2023? Okay, I have 3. I know, maybe it's just supposed to be 1, but Libra problems. I'll put them up here. It's definitely tied for Joan Didion. I really didn't know anything about Didion until she had an amazing exhibit done by Hilton Ailes in one of the museums that I really love down in Los Angeles. And I realized that I love her writing so much. So definitely Joan Didion. Then we have Rebecca Yarros. Even with everything that happened with Iron Flame and that disappointment, I think she just has a way with story, truly. And I'm really excited to read even more of her. And then as far as an author that I found myself just like reading through really fast, I'll include one indie author, which is C.E. Reese. Love her down on Amazon. What is the next one? Oh, This is a very difficult question for me. This is a very difficult question for me to answer. And it's, what's the happiest read of the year for you? Like, what was my happiest read? So as we've just covered, I mainly read fantasy, dark fantasy, some mystery, and dark romance. So this is hard because I don't really read a book for it to be happy. So in that case, maybe we could just say The Spanish Love Deception. Like I don't really read happy books. I do have a lot of happy, fluffy romance books though on my list for next year, which I'm really, really excited about. I want to read like Book Lovers and like more Elle Kennedy books. And yeah, I have a ton of things. I already have them in my possession. So I'm going to do like an entire, romance reading vlog at the top of February, which will kind of get some more of those happy reads out of the way in my system. And who knows, maybe help seasonal depression and anxiety. So we'll see. Next one. Ooh, longest book I read this year. Longest book I read this year. There's a lot of long books this year because fantasy is going off right now. I mean, right now you guys are balancing on Cassandra Clare's Swordcatcher, and it's like doing the job of like 2 textbooks. So yeah, these books are big right now. I want to say longest book I read, like technically, like in the page count that is on the book, Tracy Wolf Crush. Also one of my favorite books of the entire year. Again, Hudson and Grace's story, so wonderful. That book, another one where book 2 is better than book 1, happens so often in fantasy. Chef's Kiss, read it in like a solid day and a half, or day and a morning. So good. That's 737 pages. I think technically longest book though, like if we're getting like to it, the technicality of like word count, I would say is Iron Flame, which is more like 884 standard pages from what I've researched, even though the printed page count's like 6 something. So yeah, those are definitely my longest books. Ooh, I love this one. Fave covers of the year, favorite book covers. I am such a book cover shopper. Like I will go into a bookstore, truly judge a book by every single cover and come out sometimes with some of the best books and sometimes some of the worst books, but they look so beautiful on a shelf. And I love to display my books on different like plant stands and bookshelves and on my bed. Like a book is such a wonderful accessory, which brings me to my easy answer for this. Has to be A Court of Thorns and Roses, the special edition cover. It's stunning. It makes me feel like some kind of like very dark academia, who is she, mystery. I don't know. I have worn that book like a purse to multiple bars when I was reading it. Even though I could not get through it, it's like it's having such a hard time. And I was trying to use it as like my train book in and out in the city in New York. But I would go everywhere with that book. Every time I go meet up with a friend, if it couldn't fit in my little purse, I was just going to be carrying it. You get so many compliments. So many people ask, what is that? What are you reading? Or they recognize it and they're like, oh my God, the special edition is so wonderful. So that's definitely like one of my favorite book covers of the year. And then another one has to be All of Us Villains. I love the title so much. I love the cover. I love how dark it is, how well I feel like it really encapsulates the book. I bought that book purely off the cover alone and truly ended up loving it and loving the perspective of all the characters and how it breaks a lot of like form that's, you know, kind of common for fantasy. It's just, yeah, I love those covers so much. Oh, hello.
Oh,
I'm recording.
okay.
Oh, for the night?
No, I'm on to the gym.
Go, wait, before you leave, can you check something?
What?
This is my brother. Yeah, I'll put your channel in here. Okay, we are almost done with the list. Are you guys having fun? I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun. I like thinking about this stuff. It's like such a nice thing to kind of have in the tank. So I hope you're doing this like along with me, or maybe keeping this all in a journal. But it's good to think about and like kind of map out what I want to read for next year, and also what I think I've read a little too much of, like areas where I can really kind of branch out and explore more. Instead of just kind of falling back into like the same old. So let's see. Ooh, okay. What's the cringiest book you read this year? Again, I'm sorry, this is my last one. I promise. This is the last hit against this book. I'm so sorry, Imogene. Imogene Crimp, please do not be watching this video. I have nothing against you, girl. It's definitely a very nice girl. That book made me feel sad to be a woman. Like, and I love being a woman. It's like one of my favorite things in the entire world. Like, I really love us. I really do. That book made me feel like, is this how some of y'all think? Like, I'm not, like, come on. Like, I read that book kind of just, like, what? Like, why do you get up in the morning and put clothes on? It's for the whims of other people. It's for the whims of how everyone else thinks of you. It's for praise and applause from the opposite sex and from outside forces, and you're this level of like, I don't even know if insecure is even the word, because we all can deal with insecurity, but just like overly obsessed with like entertaining everybody's opinion, like, and just like the stream of consciousness. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, we are more than this. Get up. Get off the floor, like get off your knees, like come on, pull it together. Yeah, absolutely cringiest book I've read. Now the most oh, what's this one? I can't read. It's getting late. It's not even that late. Unpopular book you loved. Oh, I have a lot of these. Unpopular book I loved. Yeah. I feel like a lot of the books I read maybe aren't that popular because I truly don't pay that much attention to the trend cycle in books, or like what people say about books, especially if they're like, boo, we hate them. Like, there's a scandal about everything now. So I guess I feel like the Crave series, maybe it's not unpopular, but I feel like it's way underrated. People don't talk about it that much, or they don't like love it that much. Maybe they're just not interested in reading a romance that's truly like YA from a adult romance author, which I can understand that, but I think there's a reason it's Tracy's biggest series, because it's really good. But yeah, definitely the Crave series. Also probably for the fans are a lot of Nyla K's books, like Double Edged. Again, you do not need to read that book. And to that same end, I would also probably say Haunting Adeline. Like, these are all books, except for with the exception of Crave, that I have literally seen online, like Reddit pages of people saying, do not read this book, or petition for this book to be taken down, or this book should not be allowed to exist. So yeah, I would call these like unpopular because they just evoke a lot of emotions in people, even if they have trigger warnings. I love that a picture of Dorian Gray quote that says there's no such thing as immoral or moral books. Books are either poorly written, poorly or well written. That is all. I think that I might be fucking up that quote, but it's like, I just love that quote so much. Like, it's so real. Leave your morality at the door when it comes to books. I think books give us an opportunity to actually like experience something that you would never willingly experience before, even if it contradicts with your morals. I think especially when it contradicts with your morals, I think books help expand your mind to understanding things you don't even ever think you can understand. And that understanding doesn't have to like beget sympathy, or even like, or especially like championing it. Like, you don't now need to approve of things just because you sat inside the killer's mind. You know, you don't have to approve murder now. What was the highest and lowest rated books you read this year on Goodreads? Do you agree? Okay, going over to Goodreads. Let's see. It says my highest read, or my highest rated book for the year on Goodreads, like the average user rating, for The Wing. And then my lowest, let Let's see. And my lowest rated book, according to Goodreads for this year, was The Cruel Crown from the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. I think this is so funny. I'm pretty sure Cruel Crown is the prequel to Red Queen, so that's not confusing to me because it didn't feel that necessary at all. It kind of felt like something you just published when you could have just told us like 2 little stories within the larger scope of the book. I think I read that at like the very top of this year, like January of this year. So I barely kind of remember the rest of the series, except for the first one, The Red Queens. I really, truly did enjoy that book. So yeah, I guess sure, whatever. I respect that. Okay. Fave quotes of the year. Oh, I love book quotes. I love book quotes so much. Going back to another Fourth Wing one because it truly is my favorite quote of the year. It's so simple. That's the quote from the very end of the first book. It's been an honor. Oh my gosh. Like that quote is like one of those quotes that when people bring it up or I hear it or it comes up on a TikTok, like sound of someone saying it and referencing of the book, it genuinely gives me like full body, like goosebumps, like a like super warm feeling like in my chest. Just like, it sounds like a sigh, you know? It's been an honor. Like just, I love that quote. And we have 3 more after this. What was the book with the most unique concept? Unique concept. I'm going to say All of Us Villains. I think that it was super unique, going back and forth to that many different characters' POV, not actually establishing a main character, truly rendering the reader enabled to pick kind of your hero, having to realize the darkness and the worthiness inside of all of these people is, I think, what makes that book feel like a better Hunger Game to me. Next. What's a book that you read that you would reread? Book that I read that I would reread. There's so many books that I would reread. I can't wait to reread Fourth Wing. I'm super excited about rereading it. I would also totally reread For the Fans. It was so fun to read that book. It gets heavy in the 3rd act for sure. And there's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of like learning and growth for the characters and hard themes. But I would definitely reread For the Fans. Yeah, but I think honestly, Fourth Wing. I'm excited to reread that book. I can't wait. If I had a friend that wanted to like buddy read it right now, I would be like, great, let's crack it open. I've been meaning to take this one for a spin again. So definitely Fourth Wing. Reading goal reflection plus 2024 reading goal. Reading goal reflection, I'm super proud of myself. I started this reading journey in October, which was like 2 months ago, really like the end of September. I was hopeful that reading would catch the way that it did for me, you know, all my life until like 3 years ago, until really like the pandemic kind of took it away from me, and I don't know why. But I'm so proud of myself. Like this year, holy shit, I have read in like the last 2 months, like 30 books. I'm so proud of myself. Especially if I'm counting like novellas. I haven't really watched much TV for the last 2 months. I've not even spent that much time on YouTube, which I usually, you know, am watching. I have really spent almost every waking moment of my leisure time reading, and it feels amazing. My sleep schedule is a little bit wonky, to say the least right now, but I feel so good. I feel like I truly am back. Like I feel like more like myself than I have in a really long time, and I think that's because of my reading goal. So yeah, my goal wasn't anything specific. I said that I wanted to read 10 books a month for the rest of the year, and that's what I did. I have more than knocked that out of the park, which makes me feel really, really happy. And it was a lofty goal because, I mean, that would mean reading like 120 books for the year, which kind of brings me to my 2024 goals are definitely up there as well. But I'm just really happy. My bookshelf looks beautiful. I wanted my bookshelf back. That was my main goal, to read in print. And I wanted to go to book clubs, and I joined a book club this year. New York City Book Host. Shout out to my girls. They're so amazing. I love that book club. It gives me life. It makes me so happy. We have nights where we just like go to bars and read together, and they're just like an amazing, amazing group of humans that I love being around. And I have made friends. I went to my very first author signing last month for Cassandra Clare's book Swordcatcher that you're currently sitting on top of. And it's a signed copy because of that. And I made bookish friends there because everyone was so sweet. And I went by myself, which was so scary to me, but I just knew I had to do it. Yeah, I just feel like I am that baby. Like I feel so good. I feel so authentically myself when I am reading books and existing in books and like leaning into how much I love them. And that really was my goal this year. Just reignite this love of books and read a lot. Okay, and then for my 2024 reading goals, because that segues really well into that, I would say for like a number amount, 150 books. I want to do 150 books. It'd be great if I could knock that out the park and do even more, but I think 150 is a solid number. That's a huge goal. That's about 10 to 15 books a month. And some months I know I'm going to read way more than others. So this is going to be a lofty goal. I am not fully holding myself to this, but I really hope that I make 150 books. I want 10% of those books to be classics. That is a non-negotiable. I have to read at the very least 15 classics. I have so many of them already like on my TBR, on Goodreads and Storygraph that I'm really excited about. And I'm gonna do a video buying and covering all of those classics in January, which I'm very excited for, so stay tuned. And I'll kind of drop like 1 or 2 of them in each month to my TBRs so that it's spread out nicely. And then I want at least 5% of those books to be nonfiction. I do think that there are some nonfiction books that are so necessary for the soul, for my own like growth and learning, if whether it's like personal development or more Didion, essay style like Hilton Ailes, and you know, just a lot of these great nuggets of wisdom end up being some of my favorite books anyway. So I definitely want to read more nonfiction in 2024. And then on top of that, I just want to get more variety, more spice of life. I want more mystery. I want more fluffy romance. I want more lit fic. I need to get better at reading lit fic. I want to try, at the very least, to find some lit fic books that I actually like and could recommend. So I think those are my reading goals off the top of my head, but I am going to do a full 2024 reading goals, reading journal creation on Notion in the next like week or so that you'll be able to see. And that's when I'll actually have a chance to fully think about my reading goals, also my goals for this channel as a booktuber, and everything that I just want to experience and put out into the world next year. So yeah, that's super exciting. I love goal planning. Now goal keeping, that I have to get better at. Okay, so the final question of the 2023 book wrap. Let's go. Okay, after 2023 reading, what are you prioritizing in 2024 reading wise? Oh, I feel like we just went over that. That's so funny. Okay, I feel like I literally just answered that question. I'm prioritizing diversity. I'm prioritizing having some diversity and variance in my reading. At the risk of sounding overly repetitive, I think I am going to end this 2023 wrap right here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was honestly really fun for me to make. Some of the questions were really surprising and harder to answer than I thought they would be. So let me know your picks down below. I'm gonna put the entire list. If you wanna just copy and paste and like fill out your own picks, such a good, little place to kind of share our thoughts and ideas. And we're all friends because you're here now. So thank you so much for coming to my little corner, and I hope to see you in the next video.